Tonight on NAIT NewsWatch.
20,000 staff and students are out of school this week due to a common illness.
Be able to pivot and be nimble and just kind of go with the flow and do what we can.
A brand new transit payment system begins next week in Edmonton.
We hear loud and clearly from our riders they want a convenient, reliable, safe transit experience.
A local animal shelter needs Edmontonians' help to stay open.
Our economy is tough, inflation is tough, so it's not easy, and there's a lot of upheaval all over the place.
NewsWatch starts now.
Good evening. What first started as the regular flu season is now a national respiratory outbreak.
And with youth being hit the hardest, the Edmonton Public School Board is now asking the provincial government for clarity on how to control it. Our Angela Kesmerchuk joins us live from the NAIT hallways with more on that story.
Thanks, guys. After Alberta Health Services alerted Edmonton schools of an unusual amount of absences, as many as 20,000, school board members are now requesting that the provincial government provide a threshold which will enable them to provide additional health measures as well as masking when seen fit. Sherry Browning's the principal of McLeod Elementary School here in Edmonton. Working in the education system for over 20 years, she says this year's bug is hitting students the hardest.
We started the week at about probably 15% of the kids that weren't in the school. By Thursday, we were at 30% or close to 30%. So that's a lot of our kids that are away, and we have had quite a few staff members away as well.
With the rise in fevers, sore throats, and coughing, Browning says that students are recommended to wear masks. In following Alberta Health's recommendations, schools can't mandate masks, but they can try to control the spread through good hygiene. While students don't have to wear a mask anymore at school, teachers are very quick to call and send home any coughing students. Whether or not this is working is another question.
Do it. Can we mitigate the spread? Doesn't seem to be. Maybe we are doing a good job. We could be worse. I'm not quite sure. But we have to do what we can do.
Epidemiologist Dean Urick says the main reason we see this uptick in respiratory illnesses is because lockdowns prevented Canadians from being exposed to them earlier.
You know, this bug that they may have gotten a year or two ago, they're now getting that bug plus any other bug that they haven't been exposed to.
Hand washing, distancing, and masking are good choices that can prevent some illnesses. But Urick says there's something else classrooms can practice as well.
Schools could maybe look at doing is trying to keep the children in their cohorts. You know, during COVID, that was one of the big measures that was put in place for school.
Urick says this measure can help keep the bug within the classroom and from spreading to class. But then comes the question of hospital wait times and access to flu medicines.
And so the acuity of patients coming in is significantly higher than what we had seen in the past. And a lot of that has to do with the fact they weren't able to get some of their care and preventative care during COVID-19. And that's now trickling into the hospital system.
To address these issues, the provincial government announces the hiring of a new health administrator, Dr. John Coel.
I think the winning conditions are now in place for us to actually see some movement in these critical areas that have been identified.
Albertans are waiting for ambulances, they're waiting to be admitted to the emergency department, they're waiting for surgery, they're waiting to get an appointment with a family doctor, and quite frankly, they can't wait any longer.
Dr. Coel says Canadians can expect major changes in the healthcare system in the next 6 months, including more chartered facilities, hospital beds, and emergency vehicles. The provincial government says that the ICU and the number of beds will increase in the coming months. As well, lesser qualifications will be required for paramedics driving emergency vehicles in a timely manner. These paramedics are said to have adequate training in community medicine.
Earlier, you mentioned that there's a shortage of cold and flu medicines. Do you have an idea of when Canadians can expect shelves to be restocked?
Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced that flu and cold medicines are on their way to hospitals and that supplies from Australia and the United States will soon fill the shelves of pharmacies. Now, that will likely happen in the coming weeks, but as for how much product, that's unknown.
Students are likely curious about what's happening here at NAIT. What are NAIT's numbers for flu cases?
Yes, so nurses from NAIT's health center say that they aren't able to make any diagnosis, but usually around this time they see an uptick in the number of illnesses. So whether they are respiratory or COVID-like illnesses, that's unknown. But they do urge that students stay home if they're feeling sick.
Thanks. That's Angela Kazmirchuk reporting live from our NAIT hallways.
You're watching NAIT NewsWatch.
A new week full of events hopes to spread international experiences and customs all around NAIT. NAIT's International Education Week runs from November 14th to 18th and invites students and staff to learn about different cultures and perspectives worldwide.
Yesterday there was a Bhangra dance workshop, and then we also had a couple of the different international menus featured starting from Monday. So every day this week there's a different menu every day. We also had a panel discussion with different staff at NAIT, and that was open to students as well to talk about perspectives on internationalization.
This is NAIT's first International Education Week, and they hope to share experiences and make international students feel at home.
Edmonton, starting next week, is going to have a new way to pay for transit. ARC is a new electronic fare payment system. This includes an ARC card in which you can fill with any amount of money that you want. Set to be live to all adults in the Edmonton and surrounding areas November 21st, ARC is designed for ease and convenience for its users.
What does it mean to be more convenient? This is an example. So wanting to have a more modern approach to fare payment, implementing the smart fare payment technology. So our hope is that it's making it more convenient for people to choose transit.
Despite the new system, paper tickets and passes will still be available.
Economists are warning Canadians that diesel prices are going to be even higher this winter. Diesel is at an all-time high for Alberta. We are experiencing a 40% increase in diesel since last year. This is mostly due to the high demand and low supply. With petrol prices stabling, diesel prices are anticipated to increase.
Fuel price going so high, double. So trucking rate going less.
What they were trying to do about taking away some of the taxes for the regular fuel is a good idea.
As far as I know, gas is more expensive to refine than diesel. And we're paying top dollar for diesel. This whole province runs on diesel.
The average cost for diesel in Canada is $2.04 per litre.
A local animal rescue needs Edmontonians' help to continue caring for animals. Zoe's is a locally owned and operated animal rescue, housing animals before adoption and fostering homes. Last year, they cared for nearly 800 animals, but this year it has dropped to about 600 due to lack of donations and volunteers.
Our economy is tough, inflation is tough, so it's not easy, and there's a lot of upheaval all over the place. But if they can lend us a little bit of cash, send us a little bit, that's awesome, along with anybody else that they really like to support.
To find more information on donating, adopting, and volunteering at Zoe's, go to www.zoesanimalrescue.org. Coming up after the break, we will ask you the question of the week.
And we will also check out the World Cup and seeing what is happening with Mother Nature going into the weekend.
Today in sports, we take things international with the World Cup. We also pull things back to the provincial level to see what's going on with high school football. And lastly, we take a look at our very own men's basketball team. All of this tonight on Sports.
Yes, it's still cold right now, but next week it's going to warm up to low single digits plus, and all this snow right here, it's going to be gone, +4, +5, more after the break.
It's been cold all week, Colby, and that wind chill is killer, and it's not even -40 yet.
Oh, I know, Callan. I'm really wishing that we can all enjoy some warm weather before that cold really starts to roll in.
I definitely agree with you on that. Our Ryan Browning has more on what to expect this Saturday.
Thanks, guys. Your wish has been granted. It's supposed to be the +4, +5 range next week in our city, and you just wasted your one wish on weather. You could have figured out how to save world hunger. Like, what were you guys thinking? So on our temperature boards for Calgary, we got a +4, a -3, and a 0 precipitation. For Jasper, we have a high of 0 and a low of -11. Again, 0 precipitation. For Fort McMurray, we have a 0 with a -8. Again, no precipitation. In our city, we have a high of 2 and a minus of 3. And again, there's a 10% chance of snow, but there's no likely it's going to happen. On our high and lows, average high is 0, and the average low is a -8. Averages in 1956, it was a high of 18, and the low, -23 in 1945. That's your weather.
NewsWatch Weather is brought to you by NR92, the station for the students.
It is now time for Question of the Week. We have partnered up with the NAIT Nugget to hear your voice and issues that affect you.
And voicing your thoughts might win you a prize. But first, congrats to our last show's winner, Pro Poutine. We asked about getting a flu shot this season, and Pro Poutine was our top answer. They said, my work provides a nurse that comes to my desk and administers the shot. Super easy. Thanks, Pro Poutine.
Now here is this week's Question of the Week. Are you getting ready to roll out the holiday season equipment? You can submit your answer by going to the NAIT Nugget Instagram page at NAIT Nugget and comment your thoughts, and they'll pick a random winner for the next week's show.
As the soccer season has already been started, there is much more soccer to watch when the World Cup begins next week.
Yes, that's right, Callan. Our Noah Rashog has more on that story.
Thank you, guys. Not only is the soccer season well underway, there's also a lot to say about it. World Cup 2022 is just 2 days away, and I, for one, am super stoked to see Canada play in the World Cup for the first time in my lifetime. But from what I learned out in the field, I'm hardly the only one excited. In Qatar, preparations are underway for the 2022 World Cup. And for the first time in 36 years, Team Canada will be participating. Meanwhile, in Canada, sporting goods stores are rushing to meet the demand for all of the new soccer fans, whether they be coming from across the country or across the world. Eurosport aims to cater to every fan, whether they be cheering for the national team or the opposing one.
Very passionate. I mean, there's a lot of fans that weren't fans before that are now. Alfonso Davies has put us on the map, and of course the team did so well winning the CONCACAF version for the World Cup qualifying. So people are very excited to get geared up, and like I say, hockey isn't necessarily the only game in town anymore, so it's very exciting.
Team Canada's star player Alfonso Davies comes from humble origins in our own Edmonton, where he played on these exact pitches, inspiring a generation of Canadian youth to take the sport of soccer into the future.
We're pretty much a staple in the CONCACAF now to be going to the World Cup regularly. And eventually I can see us being a powerhouse in soccer for sure, because we're a diverse country, right? So the athletes are here. Team Canada is in Group F and will be playing their first game against Team Belgium next Wednesday at noon. Also in Group F are teams Croatia and Morocco, an interesting group of countries for what will certainly be an interesting World Cup. The NAIT men's basketball team this year has been on fire as they enter the midseason, a stark contrast from last year. The Ukes have started their season strong with 4 wins and 2 losses. The men's basketball team still has yet to lose a home game, a feat the same team last year could not boast.
I think this season we really locked in on some aspects that they weren't really doing too well in last year, like defensive side of the ball and like other things like that. Like we locked in on more things this year. So yeah, this year I think we've taken the leap.
Players on the team say that the chemistry between them was almost instant, which goes a very long way in team building. This was despite how more players than usual this year were new. The Ukes play tonight in Medicine Hat, where we will see if their hot hand cools or not. This is shaping up to be a sports segment without a single hockey story. The other sports we play in Canada are taking center stage almost as fast as Alberta's high school football players are taking center field. The high school football season is coming to an end, and with the end of the season comes provincials. The Salisbury Sabres are practicing hard for an upcoming nail-biting game against the Harry Ainley Titans.
Well, again, Harry Ainley's the #1 team in the province, #2 in Canada. So we are playing the best team in Alberta based on rankings. So we know that when you play somebody as strong as that and a team that is deep as they are, it usually comes down to five plays or so that you have to win in a game.
In the battle for the North on November 19th, the Salisbury Sabres will be taking on the Harry Ainley Titans. Also on November 19th, in the South Division, the Raymond Comets will be taking on the Ernest Manning Griffins as they fight for a chance in the finals. Overall, a very full week in sports. You know, I was never actually much of a soccer fan until I guess we started winning.
I'm more of a hockey guy myself, but it's very exciting that Canada's in the World Cup this year.
I know, exactly. And I mean, it was also so interesting to go out and relive some of those high school football days. I mean, that's the type of thing I lived for back then.
Yeah, I'm excited for that season finale game. It sounds like a real nail-biter.
Oh, it certainly will be.
That's our Noah Rashog with sports. Thank you. Coming up after the break, we get to look at what's upcoming this festive season.
And see how painful body waxing really is.
We are here at the Alberta Academy of Aesthetics, and I've seen to have gotten myself in a bit of a hairy situation. I'm going to be getting my right leg waxed for the very first time ever. Come join me.
I'm Gavin Turnick with NAIT NewsWatch. A Christmas tradition returns to the Citadel Theatre this holiday season. We have all that and more in entertainment this week. Stick around.
NewsWatch music provided by Martin Mayer Productions.
Welcome back to NAIT NewsWatch. It's now time to check out our Try This segment.
Our Ty Roswell gets himself into a sticky spot with some smooth consequences. But will he be able to pull it off?
All right, so we are here at the Alberta Academy of Aesthetics, and I've seen to have gotten myself in a bit of a hairy situation. I'm going to be getting my right leg waxed for the very first time ever. Come join me.
First up, some routine questions to make sure I'm eligible.
Any previous wax damage?
No.
So.
Now she's gonna apply pre-wax gel to avoid dirt or oil in the area.
This should be fun.
Now she's applying soft wax, which is usually heated between 30 and 40 degrees Celsius. And right about now, you can see I'm starting to regret my decision. The wax is applied on the direction of the hair growth and the strip is pulled off against it. It's now clear that there will be no mercy.
Ah, Steve Carell. Yep, felt that one. Okay, I will say it gets worse the higher up the leg you go, for sure.
Oh, that was a good one. Really, it's okay.
And finally, I'm out of the woods.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think there will be a next time.
No?
I'm not gonna lie, it's actually like very smooth. It's a little bit disturbing.
I was told to not shower or apply anything to my leg for 12 to 24 hours. This was an interesting experience I don't think I'll be revisiting anytime soon. For NAIT NewsWatch, I'm Ty Roswell.
You know, Colby, we've had some interesting Try This segments on the show, but this one, I can say pretty confidently, I will never participate in.
Oh yeah, I 100% agree with you, Callan. Thankfully, entertainment can tell us about some things to do this Christmas season.
Our Gavin Turnick joins us live in the studio to tell us more about entertainment.
Thanks, guys. For the first time in nearly 2 decades, a certain Canadian award show will be hosted in our city once again. In early March, Canadian music artists and bands will be recognized as the 52nd Annual Juno Awards will be center stage inside Rogers Place.
The Juno goes to... Come on, man! Nickelback.
During Juno Week throughout March 9th to 13th, Edmontonians will have the opportunity to attend a week full of festivities throughout the city. In addition, the awards ceremony scheduled for the last day will include performances by Calgary-born artist Tate McRae and Platinum Award-winning band Nickelback.
You probably heard the other day that we announced Nickelback as this year's inductees in the Canadian Music Hall of Fame. The guys are absolutely thrilled to be getting honored back in their home province. They're from Hanna, Alberta. And then we also focus on another sort of Alberta artist that's quite well known, which is Tate McRae out of Calgary. Tate has just had an absolutely phenomenal rise over the last few years. She's only 19 years old.
For Canadian music enthusiasts or anyone wanting to attend the first Juno Awards in Edmonton since 2004, tickets do become available today. Ticket prices will be starting at $49 each and can be purchased on any ticketing website. For the 4th consecutive year, David Van Belle's adaptation of A Christmas Carol will be returning to the Citadel Theatre this holiday season, all while we are introduced to a new cast for this year's production.
Coming, Ebenezer Scrooge!
The reputable character of Ebenezer Scrooge will be portrayed by actor John Elliott. John is no stranger to the Edmonton audience as he previously held the role of Ghost of Christmas Present in the 2021 production. This change of casting was led by director Daryl Cloran as he envisioned John as the next Scrooge.
So this year, when we were looking for a new Scrooge, he felt like a natural fit. He's never played this role before, so it was an exciting new challenge for him. But he was somebody that knew our production and knew the world that we were building.
Starting November 26th, guests are welcome to witness John in his new role of Ebenezer Scrooge and enjoy the story of A Christmas Carol. The show will run until December 23rd, and tickets can be purchased on the Citadel Theatre's website. If it's the snow continuing the fall, or the 3 same songs play on repeat when you're Christmas shopping, or you continually getting forced into watching the movie Elf for the 10th time, it can only mean one thing. It is officially the holiday season. So let me take the time to show you 3 seasonal events going on in our city to help get you in the holiday spirit. Lighting up the first look-ahead preview, we have the All Is Bright Festival set for November 19th. This street party will include a night filled with food, drinks, and will be capped off with a light-up ceremony. Continuing on the outdoor trend, the Botanic Gardens are opening up to the public once again for their Luminary event. Guests can enjoy Christmas lights all throughout the location as they open their doors on November 23rd. Our last upcoming event is the Canadian Tire Magic of Lights. Starting November 24th, people can speed down the Castro Raceway and enjoy a 2.5-kilometer drive-through light show.
Well, Gav, you know it's the Christmas season when Christmas Carol finally makes its return.
Oh yeah, it's a staple of the holidays. And the Juno Awards are back after 2 decades. That's awesome.
Yeah, definitely. Both those events are getting me really excited, especially for the Christmas season. I'm a big Christmas guy, so I just want to get right into it. All the cookies, everything like that. Let's just get right into that.
Right on, Gav.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
And that's all we have for you tonight.
Hope to see you next Friday. Enjoy the warm upcoming weather. Good night, everyone.